The nation's longest-lived president, Jimmy Carter, has died. Welcome to News 2 at 10. I'm Kenley Hargett. Carter was the 39th U.S. president who did much more in his life than just become president. James Earl Carter was born in Plains, Georgia, October 1st, 1924. In 1946, he graduated near the top of his class at the U.S. Naval Academy, married Rosalind Smith, and served on the nation's developing nuclear submarine program. He returned to Georgia to run the family business, a peanut farm, and launched a political career that took him from the local school board to the governor's mansion. In 1976, he defeated Gerald Ford to become president. Carter's single term included a lagging economy and a nationwide energy shortage. Inflation climbed to 15% in 1980 as Carter's approval rating plunged. Internationally, President Carter was influential in efforts to make peace in the Middle East, encouraging a treaty between Israel and Egypt with the Camp David Accords. But his post-presidency is considered more productive than his 4 years in office, living a life of service. News 2 Washington, D.C. reporter Jesse Teneur shows us how the nation's capital will remember President Carter.
President Joe Biden called Carter a dear friend to millions of Americans, and many are remembering him not for his time in the White House, but for the life he lived after leaving office. Former President Jimmy Carter marked his 100th birthday in October, the first former president to do so.
I don't know if anybody in the family expected that we'd be here for 100, and it's just amazing he's an amazing person. He's an amazing grandfather.
A milestone in a life Georgia Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock described on.
What an incredible person, an incredible human being.
Illinois Democrat Dick Durbin says Carter's biggest legacy wasn't his 4 years as commander-in-chief, but what he did after he left the White House.
He has done more good for the world since he served as president than any previous president in history.
Carter and his wife Rosalind dedicated their post-Washington life to service. In 1982, they opened the Carter Center to promote democracy and human rights around the world.
Every president can see a role model in Jimmy Carter's post-presidency.
The Carters were also champions for Habitat for Humanity, helping volunteers build, renovate, and repair more than 4,000 homes.
He set an example for all of us who feel we have an obligation to help our neighbors.
He was what I would describe as a closest thing to a Renaissance man in the modern presidency.
Stuart Eisenstadt, an advisor to Carter in the White House, says from his time as lieutenant in the U.S. Navy to commander-in-chief to his years of diplomacy and philanthropy, Carter was an honest and honorable man who devoted his life to serving his country.
He's had a life that's been full and complete, so varied that it's remarkable. And it's been a life well lived.
In his last public outing, former President Jimmy Carter attended his wife of 77 years, Rosalind Carter's funeral in November of 2023. And starting tomorrow at 9 a.m., the public is welcome to sign a condolence book for Carter next to the White House. In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.